Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Saturday. We got the college football picks here. Going to be covering pretty much most of the top 25, actually all of the top 25 and the best games on the board here. So yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe, guys. Support the channel. You guys have been awesome. And, to get in on the action here, go ahead and check out Bovada, BetUS, and My Bookie. Top 3 sports books I do use. Go ahead, really good bonuses on there. And get in on the action this weekend. And go ahead and sign up with Prize Picks. If you guys like doing player props, you can do them on college football on Prize Picks. Really awesome app in the App Store. Go ahead and check it out. Super fun. It makes watching these college games a lot more fun. And get a nice bonus on there, up to $100. So go ahead and sign up with Prize Picks. And yeah, let's hop into it. A lot of good action on this college football Saturday. I'm going to start with Arkansas Razorbacks versus the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss opening up as 5-point favorites with the over-under at 66.5. You can get Ole Miss on the money line at minus 195. Arkansas plus 170. Arkansas coming off that 37-0 loss against Georgia. Ole Miss coming off that 42-21 loss against Bama. Both teams coming off really bad losses against the best two teams in football. Arkansas 5-2 in their last 7 against Ole Miss. 7-1 covering against Ole Miss. So they've had really good success against Ole Miss here. Ole Miss, just 4-11 against the SEC here. They've struggled. Me being an Arkansas fan, Arkansas is my college team here. Last week was an embarrassment. Things are going to pick up this week. That offense is going to get let loose here. Both teams vulnerable here, coming off a bad beating. Should be a high-scoring game here. Two really good offenses here. It's going to be a back-and-forth game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I'm taking Arkansas plus the points in this one, and should be a high-scoring game here. I'll take the points with Arkansas. Next matchup, we have the Maryland Terrapins versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State opening up as 21-point favorites with the over-under at 71. You can get Ohio State on the money line at minus 1,400. Maryland plus 930. Maryland coming off that 51-14 loss against Iowa. Ohio State coming off that 52-13 win over Rutgers. Maryland 0-6 against Ohio State here. Ohio State 19-1 in their last 20 at home. We thought Maryland was really the real deal here, but they got exposed last week against Iowa. Things aren't going to be much easier here for Maryland. Going to be another tough matchup for Maryland. I don't know how they're going to be able to score on this Ohio State team. Really, it's going to be tough. Give me Ohio State. Going to add them to the money line parlays, and we'll buy half a point, get about minus 20.5. So that way they don't have to win by 4 scores. They only have to win by 3. We'll take Ohio State minus 20.5 and on the money line. Next matchup, we have Michigan State versus Rutgers. Michigan State opening up as 4.5-point favorites with the over-under at 50. You can get Michigan State on the money line at minus 180. The Rutgers plus 165. Michigan State coming off that 48-31 win over Western Kentucky. And then Rutgers coming off that 52-13 loss against Ohio State. Michigan State, 5-0 right now. Been playing really good football. 6-1 against Rutgers. Rutgers very bad at home, just 4-16 at home here. Things aren't going to get much easier for the Rutgers playing against this really good Michigan State defense and offense here. Love Michigan State in this matchup. Going to roll Michigan State money line and take a minus 4.5. And that'll be it for that pick. And then next matchup, we have Oklahoma versus Texas. Really big matchup here. Oklahoma opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 63.5. You can get Oklahoma on the money line at minus 155. Texas plus 145. Oklahoma coming off that 37-31 win against Kansas State. Texas coming off that 32-27 win over TCU. This is going to be a battle here. Oklahoma currently, 10-0 right now on it, in their last 10. They have struggled against Texas covering, though, just 2-7 covering against Texas, but they are 5-1 against Texas here. Texas 6-1 covering in their last 7. Going to be a battle. Oklahoma, haven't looked that great. Obviously they're undefeated here. They've looked really good, but a lot of close games. Only winning by 6 against Kansas State. barely beat Nebraska, beat West Virginia by 3, a lot of close games. Yeah, this is going to be a tough game against they're going to get tested here with Texas. I like Texas in this matchup. Going to buy a half a point, get them plus 3.5, and we're going to take the underdog in this matchup. All right, next matchup, we have the Vanderbilt Commodores versus the Florida Gators. Florida opening up as 39-point favorites with the over-under at 59.5. You can't get Florida on the money line currently. I'm sure once it opens up, they'll be minus like 5,000 or something crazy. Vanderbilt coming off that 30-28 win against UConn. Florida coming off that bad loss against Kentucky, against a good Kentucky team, 20-13. Vanderbilt 2-13 in their last 15, 0-7 against Florida. Florida 14-6 in their last 20, 11-1 at home against Vandy here. Look, this Vanderbilt team is very bad. I mean, they've got exposed against good teams. Georgia lost 62-0. 41-23 against Stanford. Last time these teams played last year, it was 38-17 last year, but this Vanderbilt team is very bad. 39 points is a lot, honestly. 39 points is a lot. I know Florida's probably going to destroy Vanderbilt here, but coming off that loss against Kentucky last week, the offense hasn't really been there for Florida. I mean, haven't really been putting up too many points. 38 points against Tennessee in their win, 42 against South Florida. Man, I think Vanderbilt can cover here. I know Vanderbilt's very bad, but honestly, I think Florida's going to score 40-ish points. I think Vanderbilt, if they can come up with 7 to 10 points, I think they cover this easy. Give me Vanderbilt plus the points. Maybe buy a couple points here, but Florida coming off that tough loss, I just think it's a tough cover for Florida here. Give me Vanderbilt plus 39, but we'll add Florida to the moneyline parlays. I mean, this is going to be they're going to win this game for sure. Next matchup, we have Boise State versus BYU. BYU opening up as 6-point favorites with the over-under at 57.5. You can get BYU on the money line at minus 240. Boise State plus 205. Boise State coming off that 41-31 loss against Nevada, and then BYU coming off that 34-20 win over Utah State. Currently undefeated. These teams played last season. BYU winning 51-17, an absolute massacre. Boise State 1-5 covering against BYU here. Just haven't had good success against BYU. BYU currently on a 7-game winning streak, 10-0 at home. Love BYU in this matchup here. Lot to prove here for BYU. Going to take BYU minus 6, and we'll take them on the money line. Next matchup, we have the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Auburn Tigers. Georgia opening up as 15-point favorites with the over-under at 46.5. You can get Georgia on the money line at minus 700. Auburn plus 520. Georgia coming off that 37-0 win over a top 10 ranked Arkansas team. Very impressive. Auburn coming off that 24-19 win over LSU. Georgia 9-0 in their last 9. Auburn 9-1 at home. They have that going for them. We'll just be real here. Arkansas, way better team than Auburn is this season, especially on offense, and Georgia shut them out last week. Georgia's the real deal. This defense, best in the country. I mean, it's going to be hard for Auburn to get any points. If Arkansas couldn't get any points, it's going to be very tough for Auburn to get points here. Give me Georgia minus 15. If you think it's going to be closer, buy a point and a half, get it at minus 13.5, so it only has to be 2 scores. That's probably the better play. Rolling with Georgia here, even at minus 15, I think it's pretty solid. They should be able to win this game very easily. We're going to roll with the Bulldogs here. All right, next matchup, we have the SMU Mustangs versus the Navy Midshipmen. SMU opening up as 13.5-point favorites with the over-under at 56. You can get SMU on the money line at minus 500. Navy plus 435. SMU coming off that 41-17 win over USF. Navy coming off that good win over UCF, 34-30. That was their first win of the season. SMU currently undefeated, playing really good football here to start their season. SMU, on a 5-game winning streak. They've struggled against Navy though, 2-9 against Navy. Kind of an odd stat. They've struggled against Navy here, but SMU is really good this season. Navy just 1-5 at home here. Yeah, SMU, no way they can fall to this Navy team here. They're playing too good of a football here, and SMU is going to put up a lot of points on this Navy team. Give me SMU minus 13.5. I think that's the perfect spread, minus 13.5. I love it, and we'll take them on the money line too. Next matchup, we have the Wake Forest Demon Deacons versus the Syracuse Orange. Wake Forest opening up as 6-point favorites with the over-under at 58.5. You can get Wake Forest on the money line at minus 220, Syracuse plus 200. Wake Forest coming off that 37-34 win over Louisville. Syracuse coming off that 33-30 loss against Florida State. Wake Forest, currently undefeated, playing really good football here. The best team in the ACC by far. Wake Forest, currently 5-0. They have struggled against Syracuse though, 3-6 against Syracuse. Although Wake Forest has never been this good, this is probably the only exception this year. Syracuse 3-10 in their last 13, haven't looked that great. A lot to prove for Wake Forest here, a lot on the line here. I think they want to keep on extending this winning streak. I'm gonna take Wake Forest minus 6, and we'll take them on the money line as well. Next matchup, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa opening up as 1.5-point favorites with the over-under at 41. You can get Penn State on the money line at plus 105, and then Iowa minus 123. Penn State coming off that 24-0 win over Indiana. Iowa coming off that 51-14 win over Maryland. Last time these teams played last year, Iowa winning 41-21. Much different game. Both teams Penn State's a way better team than they were last year. Penn State currently on a 9-game winning streak. 6-1 against Iowa. That last loss was last season, so they've been pretty dominant against Iowa here. Iowa on a 10-game winning streak as well. This is going to be a battle. Very good game here. Two great defenses. Shouldn't be too many points here. Love Penn State in a teaser, but I'm going to take Penn State plus 1.5. I like them in this matchup. It's going to be a battle. You can really go either way. No value in this game. We'll take the underdog in Penn State. All right, next matchup, we have the LSU Tigers versus the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky opening up as 2.5-point favorites with the over-under at 50.5. You can get Kentucky on the money line at minus 135, LSU plus 115. LSU coming off that 24-19 loss against Auburn. Kentucky coming off that 20-13 win over Florida. Very good win for Kentucky. Kentucky currently 5-0, playing really good football here. LSU 6-1 against Kentucky. Kentucky on a 7-game winning streak right now, 6-0 at home. Things have turned. LSU's been the top dog. Kentucky's been the bottom feeder here, but things have turned this season. LSU are not the team that they used to be. Kentucky looked really good on offense and defense here. I like what I've been seeing out of Kentucky coming off that huge Florida win. That was a big win for them here. Give me Kentucky minus 2.5, and we'll take them on the money line. Next matchup, we have the Michigan Wolverines versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Michigan opening up as 3-point favorites with the over-under at 50. You can get Michigan on the money line at minus 140, Nebraska plus 125. Michigan coming off that 38-17 win over Wisconsin, very dominating win. Nebraska coming off that 56-7 win over Northwestern, a very bad Northwestern team. Michigan on a 5-game winning streak. They're undefeated. They've looked lights out this season. Offense is great. Defense is great. Nebraska, they haven't been playing good. 7-13 in their last 20. 3-3 this season. They've just been very disappointing here. It's going to be tough for Nebraska. I think Michigan should be able to put it on Nebraska here. They've looked really elite on offense and defense. Give me Michigan. We'll take, anytime it's at minus 3, I'm going to buy a 0.5 point just because you never know. And I would much rather love for them to win by 3 than to push at 3. So we'll take them at minus 2.5, and we'll take them on the money line. The next matchup, we have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Virginia Tech Hokies. Currently, it's an even spread. We'll see if that ends up changing here. It's looking like Notre Dame is the underdog at plus 1 with the over-under at 47. Notre Dame coming off that 24-13 loss against Cincinnati. Very bad loss for Notre Dame in a tough matchup. Virginia Tech coming off that 21-10 game win over Richmond. I mean, a poor performance. They should have beat that team by 50. Notre Dame, 6-0 on the road right now. 17-3 in their last 20. Virginia Tech, 4-1 in their last 5. Haven't been able to cover, though. Just 3-6 covering here. I think it's a good bounce back for Notre Dame, getting them at +1 here. I think they're the much better team than Virginia Tech here. Give me Notre Dame +1. All right, next matchup, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Texas A&M Aggies. Bama opening up as 18-point favorites with the over-under at 51. You can get Bama on the money line at -910, A&M +700. Bama coming off that 42-21 win over Ole Miss. A&M coming off that, 2 bad losses against Arkansas and then Mississippi State. Bama currently on a 10-game winning streak, 8-0 against A&M, 6-0 on the road. I mean, you name it, Bama's good at it. We all know that. A&M, they're 8-1 at home, but I will say I've watched a lot of football this season. I've watched a lot of A&M games. They are bad. They didn't deserve to be ranked this high this season. I know their quarterback was hurt, but this A&M defense isn't good. The offense is very lackluster here. Not a chance for A&M. They're going to get slaughtered. Give me Bama -18. They should be able to win by 3 scores here. And we'll add them to the moneyline parlays. But yeah, we're rolling with the Crimson Tide here. And then the last matchup, we have the New Mexico Lobos versus the San Diego State Aztecs. San Diego State opening up as 19.5-point favorites with the over-under at 42.5. You can get San Diego State on the money line at -1,000. New Mexico +730. New Mexico coming off a 38-10 loss against Air Force. Lost 34-0 against A&M. Yeah, they have not looked good this season here. San Diego State coming off a 48-21 win over Towson. New Mexico 4-16 in their last 20. 0-7 against San Diego State here. San Diego State 5-1 in their last 6. 5-1 covering the spread. Yeah, I think New Mexico State, finally ranked 4-0, playing really good this season. They should be able to put up a lot of points against this New Mexico team. Give me San Diego State money line. We'll take them -19.5. And that's going to be it for the video. Go ahead and check out the parlay video, guys. I posted it, all my favorite plays and teasers are in there. So check out that parlay video. And good luck with your parlays on Saturday, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.